Hi. I've been thinking this week a lot about it being a new year, and with every new year, don't we come off with new desires to be more organised this year, to get things done this year? But what comes at the centre of all of that is getting organised, and that causes a wealth of problems for most people. And we all get our planners. I have huge amounts. Anyone who knows me knows that my life is one long notebook. I have one for each thing that I have to do, because if I don't write it down, I very may well forget. And that's a lesson that I use in my lessons a lot. I say, write it down. If you write it down, you're more likely to remember. But that is not what I wanted to talk to you about today. That was just sort of me talking, because I like to do that. I have a free gift for you, or for your children, or your child, and that is a notebook of past questions. And I put this together from past questions that I've picked up along the way this year, from the different exam specs, to make them into a variety of questions. There's a key thing that you see in schools at this time of year is children getting more sad as they realise, in the exam year certainly, what they're facing in a few months' time, and that is exams, public exams. They're no longer going up against the other people in their class. They're going up against anyone else who's taking the exam. And their ultimate grade is based on how well everybody does, not just the people they know. It's quite a big thing to put on anybody's head, and it's not a crown, so it's not actually welcome. So realistically, students start coming around saying, Miss, have you got any past questions? Miss, can you give me past questions? And I imagine, because they're teenagers, because that's what they do, that they take these printouts of past papers home and they put them in the corner and they promise themselves that they will come back to it. We do that, don't we? We take things home, we put them on our desk, and we promise ourselves that we'll come back to it. And then after a certain period of time has passed, what do? We put it in the bin. Well, I was thinking of ways that we could save that happening, and I put together this notebook in which it's got a selection of different questions, not nearly all the questions that exist in this world, but a selection of different questions from a selection of different subjects in one booklet, and available as a download. So it doesn't need to kill any trees, and it doesn't need to take up space in the corner. What it does mean is that they can go through and find questions on different subjects and try those questions and build their confidence in answering those questions. And this is no way it's not expected that they will get everything spot on correct, but the mark schemes of exams don't expect everything spot on correct. What it means is that they will build their confidence in building up the answers and actually getting something that they can understand is correct or incorrect. So it will help build their reasoning. With reasoning comes confidence. So if you answer a question and at the end of it you get an answer which seems reasonable in comparison to everything else that you've included in that question, so when you look at it, it's actually, yeah, that is the correct answer. That is the mindset that they need to be in when they get to those exams. So I'll be producing a few, but today I'm giving you the option in the download link below to get hold of a copy straight away that you can give to your child and they can happily go along through looking through the expected type of questions and asking more questions where they think that they haven't quite got the concept correctly, because now is the time to identify the gaps. Now is the time to say, oh, I don't know how to do that, and ask the question, how do you do that? Is it something I should know already? Is it something I've missed? Oh, it's an exciting time in the land of education, but it can also lead to something that we know well, and that is overwhelm. You know those times where you've come home and you've put down some letters that you need to read, or you've got some new reports that you need to respond to, or anything that you've just put into a pile, and then you look at the pile and you say, I should have started that earlier. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Even though our kids are young, they go through the same thing. Because in their eyes, they start from the point of, say, I've got 9 GCSEs to do this year. Or when they add together the singular papers included in each, I've got 36 papers to sit in a month. It's quite a lot to do, isn't it? And you can imagine on such a young mind, it's just all there, like, how on earth am I going to do that? I went through it, certainly. When I was doing A-levels and trying to get into my first degree, I remember saying to my brother, I can't possibly pass these A-levels. Me doing a degree, what on earth is that all about? And my brother said to me, don't be silly. You can do it. You can get those grades. I don't think it's as simple as that. I accepted it, but I don't think it's as simple. What is needed is a lot of nurturing at this time. A lot of nurturing that will build the confidence to believe and truly believe that these exams are possible. As overwhelm is a debilitating thing. That your child needs to be able to sit back sometimes and just let nature flow through them. Give themselves a chance to breathe. Give themselves a chance to live life away from the books for a few hours, not just piling everything on top. But my booklet that I'm giving you today is supposed to take away from that feeling of multiple exam past papers piled in the corner and help them to just know multiple exam papers exist on that download. So I don't need to go around and catch all these teachers to get papers. I've actually got them. And that's why I would produce more booklets like that. Feedback would be great to let me know whether it's helpful or not, or if there's any particular subjects that you'd need covered or not. And as always, I'm working in the interest of your child, your children, my students, to try and make this transition as smooth as possible so that they can get through the exams in as smooth way as possible, and achieving as much as they possibly can. Because when they go out into the world, as we've discussed, there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of challenges. Their future may or may not be an academic one. All of it's acceptable as long as they are confident, happy and well-adjusted individuals. What we don't want is to make sure that with the skills that are now needed for the 21st century, that they do not have them ready. They will. They just need to have that confidence and ability to think for themselves and decide for themselves what they are working towards, to realise we're not doing education to them, we're helping them to be able to survive in this new world, in this 21st century world. So my call to action today is to have a little think, download download, because it may well be the one that your child needs to help them with all that they've got to do. I think it will be. I've looked through it. I'm quite proud. And I'm very grateful to all of the exam boards and other contributors who put their work out there available to us. I'm quite happy to collate it together, like any good teacher would, to help you.